Part 48. God Level Tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tien Taido. Chapter 474. You want to ask how you can break through to the realm of divine transformation, right? After hearing what Qin Tianjun said, Li Hao said directly, having already guessed what Qin Tianjun wanted to ask. After hearing Li Hao's words, Qin Tianjun was shocked, and a look of excitement suddenly appeared on his face. That's right, Grandmaster Li, I would like to ask you how to break through to the realm of transformation into gods. I have been trapped in the late stage of the Danjing realm for more than 10 years, but there has been no sign of a breakthrough. Qin Tianjun said directly to Li Hao again. At this moment, Ye Changhe and Sanyang Genren next to them also looked at Li Hao one after another, and they were extremely curious about this. Although they are not monks in the late stage of the Dan formation realm, they have not yet reached the point of breaking through to the God transformation realm. But if you know it in advance, you can prepare in advance. Looking at everyone's eyes, Li Hao said directly and calmly. To become a god, you have to work hard on the power of the spirit and soul. As long as you keep tempering the strength of the soul, you can reach the point where the spirit and soul are one. Li Hao said without reservation that this was Li Hao's understanding of achieving the realm of divine transformation. As for whether it would be useful to Qin Tianjun and the others, it depends on his understanding. Tempering the soul? When Qin Tianjun and others heard Li Hao's words, they couldn't help but feel shocked again. This power of the soul is invisible and intangible. It is very fantasy. They are confused. Qin Tianjun's brows furrowed, and Master Sanyang and Ye Changhe beside him were already deep in thought. However, at this moment, actually, if you want to break through to the realm of divine transformation, there is a simple way. Li Hao said suddenly, which shocked several people again, and they looked at Li Hao with wide eyes. What can I do? Li Hao did not answer, but directly took out a pill from the system world. This is the way. Li Hao said lightly, with a smile on his face, and slowly opened his palms. Elixir. Qin Tianjun and others looked straight at the elixir in Li Hao's palm. The elixir was round and green-white in color, but there was a pure spiritual power emitting from it involuntarily, a stream of elixir. The fragrance emanated from the elixir and reached everyone's noses, directly shaking everyone's spirits and giving them a feeling of refreshment. Grandmaster Li, this is. Qin Tianjun looked at the round elixir in Li Hao's palm with excitement. Even if he smelled the fragrance of the elixir, it seemed that the shadow of his cultivation bottleneck had become loose. This made Qin Tianjun unbelievable. This is a God transformation pill. With this pill, you can easily break through to the God transformation realm and become a grandmaster. Li Hao immediately said directly that this God transformation pill was obtained from Ye Hongxiu's secret realm, and Li Hao not only owned this one. At this moment, this divine transformation pill is the greatest boost to Qin Tianjun's cultivation. What? God transformation pill. Is this pill the legendary God transformation pill? When Li Hao's words fell, the eyes of Qin Tianjun and Master Sanyang suddenly showed incomparable shock. They naturally knew the name of the God transformation pill. This God transformation pill is a legendary pill that can only be found but cannot be found. Even no one on this road can refine it now, but as long as this God transforming pill emerges, one can directly break through from the late stage of pill formation to the realm of God transformation and become a powerful master. For a moment, several people looked at the elixir in Li Hao's hand with different eyes, especially Qin Tianjun, whose eyes were filled with heat, as if he was seeing his beloved woman. Grandmaster Li, can this God transformation pill? Qin Tianjun couldn't help but ask Li Hao again, but he spoke carefully for fear of making Li Hao unhappy. Ha ha. Seeing Qin Tianjun's cautious look, Li Hao didn't care at all and immediately laughed again. Can I give it to you? Li Hao asked with a half smile. Well, Grandmaster Li, I need this God transformation pill very much. If you can give me this God transformation pill, I will agree to whatever you want me to do. Qin Tianjun's old face was a little excited at this moment, and he said directly to Li Hao that he had worked hard for this magic pill. Is it okay to do anything? Li Hao said with a smile again. Qin Tianjun couldn't help being shocked, nodded repeatedly, and said, as long as I can do it. Qin Tianjun said it with certainty again. Then go to hell? Can you do it? Li Hao said calmly again. But as soon as Li Hao's words came out, the expressions of everyone around him suddenly changed. The smile on Qin Tianjun's face froze at this moment. He didn't know how to answer at this moment. He didn't expect that Li Hao actually asked him to die. It is indeed something that can be done, but he doesn't want to die, but he just said that he would agree to anything, and now he is slapped in the face. Seriously? Qin Tianjun looked at Li Hao cautiously again. Did he offend him? I was really confused at this moment. Haha, it's just a joke. Don't be so scared. But at this time, Li Hao laughed again and said directly that he was just to liven up the atmosphere. As soon as Li Hao said these words, Qin Tianjun's face became better and he breathed a sigh of relief. Of course I can't let you die. Master Qin, you are older and you should know a lot of things that I don't know. I will simply ask you some questions. As long as you help me answer my questions, this God transformation pill is yours of. I heard Li Hao say directly again. Hearing Li Hao's words, Qin Tianjun was shocked again. I have wasted more than 80 years. Although my cultivation is average, I still know some things that ordinary people don't know. Grandmaster Li, if you have anything you want to know, just ask me. I will tell you everything. Qin Tianjun immediately patted his chest and said, Li Hao just wanted to ask him some questions. He was shocked just now. Answering the questions is easy. Grandmaster Li, what do you want to know? Qin Tianjun asked Li Hao again. There's no rush. You can take this pill first and then talk about it. As for what I want to know, I'll tell you slowly later. Li Hao said with a smile again. Ah. Take this magic pill directly? Will you break through here? Is it possible? Qin Tianjun was startled again and couldn't help but ask, this is a private room in a hotel. The space is too small. He wants to break through to the realm of transformation. It's not just a simple foundation building or something. The movement must be very loud. What you say here may alarm other people, and may even cause some damage, which will be difficult to clean up by then. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 475. If he takes the transformation pill here to achieve a breakthrough, Qin Tianjun is worried that it will cause a very big shock or cause damage to the hotel, which will be difficult to clean up by then. And he has broken through to the realm of divine transformation, which is very crucial, and it is even more important to him. Don't he need to prepare? That's right, take it here. However, Li Hao said calmly. As Li Hao's words fell, Li Hao waved his hand, and a stream of spiritual power immediately dispersed in all directions, and a strange wave was generated in every corner of the private room. Everyone looked at the scene in amazement. The next moment, everyone saw that an invisible barrier seemed to cover the entire private room, making this private room an independent space. The barrier is invisible, but it is real. Is this a formation? Qin Tianjun looked at the scene in shock and said in shock. He could clearly feel that everything outside the private room was invisible to him at this moment. What a powerful formation! Qin Tianjun did not expect that the Li Hao in front of him was actually a powerful formation master. He casually arranged an isolation formation. With this formation, if he broke through to the realm of God transformation and became a master, he would not be able to. It will cause a stir outside. Is it okay now? Li Hao said lightly. No problem, no problem. Qin Tianjun said quickly, what's the problem? Just break through directly. With a powerful master like Li Hao here, his worries are really unnecessary. As a result, Qin Tianjun no longer hesitated at all, took the God transformation pill directly from Li Hao's hand, and then without saying a word, he stuffed the God transformation pill into his mouth. Immediately, Qin Tianjun felt that the elixir melted in his mouth and turned into an extremely pure and majestic spiritual power that directly entered Qin Tianjun's body, making Qin Tianjun's whole body shocked. That majestic force directly impacted Qin Tianjun's body, as if it was impacting his tendons, flesh, bones, etc., washing it from the inside out. In an instant, Qin Tianjun's body seemed to be completely reborn, and his physical body was directly a transformation has occurred. The most important thing is that Qin Tianjun actually felt that his soul seemed to have undergone some changes at this moment. It seemed that the soul could leave the body and become stronger. This was the transformation of the soul, and his perception also changed. He became extremely keen and developed spiritual consciousness. Boom! A powerful aura erupted directly from Qin Tianjun's body. The aura kept rising, and in an instant, it had become many times stronger. Everyone around them felt the aura released by Qin Tianjun, and their expressions couldn't help but become extremely horrified. Even Master Sanyang, Ye Changhe and others felt a strong sense of oppression at this moment. As for Ye Xiun, Li Hao had already held her hand and protected Ye Xiun's body. He did not feel oppressed by Qin Tianjun's powerful aura. Boom! At the same time that Qin Tianjun broke through, a spiritual storm also set off throughout the whole place, but the agitation caused was blocked by the formation arranged by Li Hao and did not leak out at all. In this way, a wonderful show of breaking through from the realm of forming alchemy to the realm of the master of transforming gods was staged in this private room. Only a few minutes later, the entire private room became calm again, and Qin Tianjun's aura became stable. He had truly become a master of the God transformation realm from the late stage of the Dan formation realm. That's really how I broke through. Qin Tianjun felt the state of his cultivation, and there was still a hint of disbelief in his eyes. He actually broke through to the state of becoming a god, so he took a pill. The effect of this transformation pill is simply too powerful. Qin Tianjun restrained his excitement, looked at Li Hao again, and then bowed deeply to Li Hao. Thank you, Grandmaster Li. If Grandmaster Li has any mission in the future, I will go up to the mountains of swords and the seas of fire without hesitation. Qin Tianjun said in a deep voice, his voice filled with incomparable gratitude. Without Li Hao, he would not have broken through to the state of becoming a god. This is a great kindness, and the same kindness can be recreated. Li Hao nodded lightly, but then looked at the people around him and said, now is the best time for you to practice. By absorbing and refining these spiritual powers, your cultivation should be able to improve a lot. After hearing Li Hao's words, Sanyang Genren, Ye Changhe, Ye Yongsheng and even Qin Zhan all activated their cultivation levels and started practicing directly. Qin Tianjun's breakthrough made the spiritual power in this space become very strong. For them, this was a very good time to practice. After another 10 or 20 minutes, everyone stopped practicing again. Their cultivation levels had improved a lot and they had benefited a lot. After everyone stopped practicing, Li Hao spoke directly to Qin Tianjun again. Qin family, Xia Kunlun, you should know better, right? When Qin Tianjun heard Li Hao's words, his whole body condensed again. He knew that Li Hao was beginning to ask himself what he wanted to know. Qin Tianjun immediately nodded and said in a deep voice. This Xia Kunlun was one of the 10 great masters of Dehua. He was a strong master more than 30 years ago. He made a lot of contributions to Dehua. He was once the one who killed many people in the cave battle. He defeated many invading enemies and was regarded as the god of war in Kunlun. Qin Tianjun spoke slowly, and he was very clear about Xia Kunlun. However, after hearing Qin Tianjun's answer, Li Hao grasped a key point and couldn't help but condense. Cave battle. Li Hao asked in a deep voice. By the way, Grandmaster Li, you probably don't know about the underground caves yet, right? Upon hearing Li Hao's question, Qin Tianjun immediately asked again. What crypt? Li Hao really didn't know. Speaking of this cave, we have to talk about a big earthquake more than 100 years ago. I was not even born at that time, and I also heard about it from my father. According to him, a very powerful earthquake occurred across the entire continent at that time. The earthquake shattered the mountains and tore the earth apart. After the earthquake, many caves were opened on the mainland. They were so deep that no one knew what was in those caves. Qin Tianjun spoke slowly, telling what he knew had happened, and everyone listened attentively. But at this moment, Master Sanyang said in response. The cave you are talking about is not the cave next to Jiagong Mountain, right? Yes, that's it. Qin Tianjun heard what Master Sanyang said and said directly, extremely sure. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 476. Master Sanyang seems to also know about this cave. That cave on the edge of Jiagong Mountain? When Li Hao heard the conversation between the two, his heart condensed, but he also had some more doubts. What about the battle in the cave? Li Hao asked directly. Grandmaster Li, it's like this. After the earthquake, this cave was shaken out. There are many caves on the whole road. At first, everyone thought that nothing happened. Suddenly one day, something happened that frightened everyone. What happened? This was what Ye Xiun asked. She listened very seriously and was very curious about it. On a certain day, near that cave, all the villagers in a town died in one night. Qin Tianjun said in a deep voice again, but as soon as these words came out, Li Hao and others were shocked again. What? All dead? How many people are needed in a town? What happened? At this time, Ye Yongsheng also asked. There was blood and stumps everywhere on the ground. Immediately, some people from the garrison went to investigate, but later they found that these people were killed and eaten by monsters. And those monster beasts actually emerged from the cave. They are all extremely powerful monster beasts, comparable to the existence of monks in the Dan formation realm. Qin Tianjun said slowly again, recalling that incident. Lingran was in his heart. Although he did not experience it personally and only talked about it from the older generation, he still felt extremely frightened. What happened next? Ye Xiun asked again. Later, even the high-ranking figures in Dewa were alarmed. Even if there were strong masters who went to destroy those monsters, the number of those monsters was simply countless, and their bodies were very powerful. In the end, it took almost the strength of a whole country to repel those monsters, but many of our people died, even the strong masters fell. Back then, some strong men formed a team and entered the cave. They discovered that under the cave, there was actually a strange world, an underground world, and in that underground world, everywhere they are all powerful monsters, and the number of monsters that emerge from the ground is less than 1/10 of the number. If all those monsters get out, the whole world will suffer a huge disaster. Hearing Qin Tianjun's words, Li Hao and others felt turmoil in their hearts again. There is another world underground, and it is full of powerful monsters. Qin Tianjun kept talking, telling everything he knew. Soon, everyone understood a general idea. After the earthquake, catacombs appeared in many places on the mainland, and each catacomb was equivalent to an entrance to the underground world. There were powerful things inside. There are countless monsters, and when they come out, they cause huge disasters to the people outside. Even in the cave of Jigong Mountain, many monsters emerged, causing harm to many lives. In the end, the strong men of the Dawa Guard army and the strong masters took action to repel these monsters. Later, many masters and powerful men took action together to seal the passage under the cave. This made Dawa's land peaceful for many years. More than 30 years ago, the seal under the cave became loose. Then Dawa's senior officials sent some strong masters to stabilize the seal. However, stabilizing the seal was a very dangerous matter, and even required direct confrontation. To the monsters in the underground, those people are all heroes. This Xia Kunlun is one of the powerful masters who went to stabilize the seal more than 30 years ago. Li Hao said to Qin Tianjun again. That's right. He is one of those powerful masters, but everyone thought he was dead. Unexpectedly, he is still alive. Qin Tianjun said in a deep voice, but suddenly thought of something, and said slowly, is it good or bad that Xia Kunlun is back? I don't know what the situation is below the cave. Moreover, before he and Zhao Tianshen, I just have some grudges. I'm afraid I came back this time with bad intentions. In short, Dawa may be shocked by the return of Xia Kunlun. Grudge? How do you say this? Li Hao asked again in a deep voice. Originally, Zhao Tianshen was also among the dispatched grandmasters, but I don't know what happened later, but he was left behind. And the grandmaster who went in to secure the seal faced a terrifying and extremely dangerous situation. If he stayed, he would be safe. Xia Kunlun and Zhao Tianshen would not deal with it in the first place. In addition, the person who went to the cave was Xia Kunlun, and Zhao Tianshen stayed, so Xia Kunlun was naturally a little unconvinced. Qin Tianjun said again, making everyone finally understand. Qin Tianjun knew a lot, and Li Hao and others also knew a lot of things they didn't know after hearing Qin Tianjun's words. The meal lasted for a long time and a lot of wine was consumed. Li Hao was fine, but Ye Xiun's face was flushed, and she even felt dizzy. Oh, I feel so dizzy. Li Hao, why are there so many of you? Ye Xiun could not even stand still. She was supported by Li Hao. She said this nonsense to Li Hao with a blushing face. She was obviously drunk and her vision was a little blurred. Xiun, you are drunk, shall I take you back? Li Hao looked at Ye Xiun's appearance and said to Ye Xiun. Wow, the night is so beautiful tonight. I want to go to the rooftop to watch the stars and accompany me. Ye Xiun looked up at the night sky and said that the night sky tonight was beautiful and dotted with stars. Li Hao was speechless when he heard what Ye Xiun said. He was so drunk, why was he still looking at the stars? Young master, take Xiun to the rooftop to see. I have already booked a room here. It will be late later, so just sleep here. At this time, Ye Chang he said to Li Hao. Although Li Hao had terminated his contract, he still called Li Hao the young master. Hearing what Ye Chang he said, Li Hao was stunned again. The room has been booked? What does this mean? On the side, Ye Yongsheng directly handed a room card to Li Hao and said. Yes, young master. Xiun is already drunk. It's too late to go back, and it's not convenient. Just stay here. With you here, we are relieved. Li Hao was speechless again when he heard what Ye Yongsheng said. He didn't know what to say. This is clearly sending his daughter out directly? Are you so confident in yourself? But Li Hao was worried about himself. Was he that kind of person? In the end, Li Hao accepted Ye Yongsheng's room booking and decided to stay at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel tonight. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Tian Taido. Chapter 477. Li Hao took the room card directly. Ye Yongsheng and others left directly, and Qin Tianjun also left after Li Hao left each other's contact information. As for Taoist Sanyang and White Cat, Li Hao didn't pay much attention at all. They wanted to go wherever they wanted. Taoist Sanyang had no shortage of money since he followed him. So, Li Hao helped Ye Xiun and took the sightseeing elevator directly to the roof of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. The Waldorf Astoria Hotel is the most luxurious five-star hotel in Shanghai. The rooftop is an open-air bar with many booths. Sitting here, you can look up to the sky and overlook the luxurious night view of Shanghai. At this moment, the rooftop of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel was also very lively. There were men and women, in twos and threes, drinking wine, eating desserts, and admiring the beautiful night view. It was so comfortable. Ye Xiun, who was originally riding on Li Hao, was groggy, but she became much more awake looking at this beautiful night scene. The two of them directly found a booth, and then a waiter came to greet them. "Excuse me, sir, madam, what would you two like to drink?" The waiter asked Li Hao directly. Li Hao just wanted to ask for 2 cups of milk tea, but Ye Xiun beat him to it. "Wine, I still want to drink." "Want more wine?" "Xiun, you are already a little drunk." Li Hao said to Ye Xiun. "No, I'm not drunk. I want to drink. I want to drink until I get drunk today. On such a beautiful night, I must drink more." I heard Ye Xiun say directly again. Li Hao was speechless. He still wanted to drink after this? "Okay, then drink. Give me 2 bottles of your most expensive wine." Li Hao said boldly, "Just drink, who is afraid of whom? Besides, as long as I'm here, there won't be any problems." As a result, Li Hao and Ye Xiun began to drink again while admiring the beautiful night scene. After drinking 1 cup after another, Li Hao's face became rosy. This time, Li Hao did not use the power of cultivation to force him out. "Come on, Li Hao, let me toast you." Ye Xiun picked up the wine glass and said to Li Hao again. She could hardly open her eyes, but she still poured it into her mouth desperately. She had never drank so much wine as she did today. Li Hao directly picked up the wine glass and clinked the glasses with Ye Xiun. I heard Ye Xiun say again. "Li Hao, if it weren't for you, I'm afraid I would have died today." Ye Xiun wanted to say that she was afraid she was already dead. If she had to marry that Xiaorenja, she would rather die. "So, how do you want to thank me?" Li Hao said with a smile again. "How would you like to thank me?" Ye Xiun looked at Li Hao again. "What's the saying, if you can't get anything in return, just pledge yourself to me. Otherwise, why don't you pledge yourself to me?" Li Hao said jokingly to Ye Xiun again. Hearing Li Hao's words, Ye Xiun's pretty face turned extremely crimson, even her neck was red, and she didn't know whether it was from drinking or from embarrassment. "Okay." Ye Xiun said directly again. This time, Li Hao was stunned, but he actually agreed. "That's what I asked myself. Then it's better to hit the sun than to choose a day. Let's do it now, right?" Li Hao didn't hesitate and said directly, but when the words came to his mouth, the taste changed a bit. Ye Xiun blushed when she heard Li Hao's words, but her heart was as panicked as a deer, but she couldn't help but nodded. Ye Xiun snorted lightly. "Haha, let's go then." I have to say that this kind of Ye Xiun is so beautiful that it makes Li Hao's mind go wild. Even the men who were drinking next to him were peeking in this direction. However, just when Li Hao was about to take Ye Xiun to the room that had been opened, a bright light appeared in Li Hao's sight. No one else could see this bright light, only Li Hao could see it. Li Hao couldn't help but let out a cry of surprise. Immediately, Li Hao looked towards the bright light and saw a red exclamation mark directly in Li Hao's sight. It was another booth not far from here. There were 2 men and 2 women sitting in the booth. The man looked normal but was dressed like a human. The 2 women looked more beautiful and wore short skirts. They have a good figure and exquisite makeup, which looks unique in the night. Although they are not as stunning as Yeshiun, those two women are undoubtedly beauties. In this day and age, there are so many beauties that you can meet them casually. The two beauties and the two men were drinking, looking very happy, and the wine bottles on the table showed that they had drank a lot. At this moment, a big red exclamation point stared at the head of one of the beauties. Hint. When Li Hao saw this exclamation mark, he couldn't help but be shocked. It was actually a prompt. The system hadn't given a prompt for a long time. A prompt means something is about to happen, which means you can get a reward again. Li Hao was somewhat looking forward to the reward, but he was already accustomed to this reminder. Immediately, Li Hao clicked on the exclamation mark on the woman's head. The system directly deducted another 20,000 yuan from Li Hao's bank account, and then gave a prompt. Ding dong, this is a drunk woman. If she keeps drinking, she will die. The prompt given by the system was very simple, just one sentence, but it made Li Hao's heart freeze and his brows furrowed slightly. Are you going to die if you keep drinking? Does this mean that this woman will drink herself to death later? Now, the woman didn't look like anything was wrong. Li Hao was shocked and confused, but this was the prompt given by the system and he had to believe it. For such a young woman, who must be in her 20s, it would be unworthy and such a pity if she drank to death. Since the system gave a prompt, Li Hao naturally had to prevent the tragedy from happening. Li Ting, I can't drink anymore. You drink it? On the deck not far from Li Hao, the woman with the tip of her head said to her best friend beside her. Jiaxin, don't lie. You're clearly not drunk yet. You drink better than me. Besides, if you get really drunk later, you can just sleep here at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. My boyfriend has already booked a room. The woman next to her looked at Song Jiaxin and said directly. No, I want to go back. It's already late. Song Jiaxin felt that she really couldn't drink anymore. With the instigation of her best friend, she had already drank many cups. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Tian Taido. Chapter 478. Beauty, what are you in a hurry for? It's still early. It's rare to come out for a drink today. Tinger has already made an appointment for a long time. One of the two men, the boyfriend of the girl named Li Ting, said to Song Jiaxin at this moment, his name is Yu Chao, and the other one is his brother, his name is Zhang Jian. Today, Yu Chao asked his girlfriend Li Ting to make up Song Jiaxin for a long time before letting her come out. Song Jiaxin is Li Ting's best friend. She is outstanding in both figure and appearance. She is a very rare beauty. His brother Zhang Jian immediately likes her very much. The purpose of making an appointment with her today is actually to create something for his brother. Opportunity. As long as you feel happy after eating and drinking a little wine, you can drink until you go to bed. When you are drunk, it will be easier to do things. Yes, Miss Song, I have asked you out many times and finally asked you out today. You must have a lot of fun with it. The man next to him, Zhang Jian, also said aloud. His eyes had been fixed on Song Jiaxin's body. Looking at Song Jiaxin's slender silhouette, Zhang Jian felt itchy. Jiaxin, just drink some more. Can you bear to let me drink here alone? Are you still not a good best friend? Li Ting said to Li Jiaxin from the side again that her boyfriend had assigned her a task today, which was to toast Song Jiaxin a few more glasses. Song Jiaxin's eyebrows wrinkled when she heard the words of several people. At this moment, she was drunk, and she felt that she had reached her limit and she really couldn't drink anymore. Come on, Jiaxin, let's have another drink. Li Ting directly picked up the wine glass and said to Song Jiaxin again. Seeing this scene, Song Jiaxin had no choice but to pick up the remaining half glass of wine. Jiaxin, your wine isn't even full. Come on, I'll fill it up for you. Li Ting saw that there was only half a glass of wine in Song Jiaxin's glass, So she picked up the wine bottle and poured wine into Song Jiaxin's glass. Okay, okay. Song Jiaxin said one after another, but Li Ting still filled her glass with wine. Looking at this glass of wine, Song Jiaxin felt a little scared. Come on, cheers. Li Ting raised her wine glass again. Seeing this scene, Song Jiaxin felt helpless and could only pick up the wine glass. In order not to disappoint her best friend, she had to drink it even if she didn't want to, otherwise this best friend would be unable to do anything else. Song Jiaxin picked up the wine glass and touched it directly with the wine glass in Li Ting's hand, and then prepared to pour it into her mouth. Wait a moment. But at this moment, a voice suddenly came from the side. Song Jiaxin, Li Ting, and others heard the sound and turned their heads in confusion when they saw a handsome young man coming next to them. Brother, what's the matter? Yu Chao frowned slightly and asked Li Hao in a deep voice. Zhang Jian next to him also looked at the young man with a cold face. This lady can't drink anymore. If she drinks anymore, I'm afraid there will be problems. The young man who stood up was naturally Li Hao. Li Hao got a reminder from the system that if this woman continued to drink, her life would be lost. At this moment, Li Hao thought it would be better for him to come out and remind her. After hearing Li Hao's words, the expressions of Zhang Jian and Yu Chao suddenly changed. Boy, what are you talking about? I'm drinking, is it your turn to point fingers? Zhang Jian and Yu Chao became a little angry, shouted at Li Hao sternly, and stared at Li Hao fiercely. Don't mind your own business. My bestie can still drink. Even Li Ting looked at Li Hao coldly and said, looking unhappy. When Song Jiaxin heard Li Hao's words, she couldn't help but be stunned. She turned her blurry eyes to look at Li Hao. He didn't know this handsome guy, but he actually stood up and spoke for him. I'm not talking nonsense, I'm telling the truth. She can no longer drink. Li Hao said calmly again. Why don't you just say you can't drink? Don't act like that. We're drinking with beautiful women, so don't meddle in other people's business. Zhang Jian heard Li Hao's words and said angrily to Li Hao again. Yes, you can't drink it just because you said you can't drink it? Who do you think you are? We don't even know you. Li Ting also said at the side, and then she asked Song Jiaxin next to her. Jiaxin, do you know him? I don't know. Song Jiaxin shook her head. That's it, Jiaxin doesn't even know you. Don't meddle in other people's business. Li Ting said coldly to Li Hao again, and then to Song Jiaxin. Jiaxin, we don't need to worry about him, let's keep drinking. Can you still drink? Well, you should still be able to drink it. Song Jiaxin said weakly again, she really didn't know if she could still drink it, but because of the face of her best friend, she could only say this. Humph. Jiaxin said you can still drink it? Don't you know if Jiaxin can drink it? Really, you have to take care of it. Li Ting said sharply to Li Hao again. He. When Li Hao heard this woman's words, he smiled lightly again. It seems that she is indeed nosy, even she said so herself. If this is the case, then don't worry about your own affairs. You have already reminded them that if something happens later, they will regret it. In this case, it's up to you. Anyway, I would like to advise you that if something happens to her later, you guys who persuaded her to drink will also be responsible. Li Hao said calmly again. After saying that, Li Hao turned around and returned to his booth. Li Hao, what did you just do? In the booth, Ye Xiun couldn't help but ask Li Hao. Just now, they were about to leave, but Li Hao suddenly walked to the booth and said something to those people, but Ye Xiun didn't hear clearly from a distance, but Ye Xiun saw those people. They all seemed very angry, and they couldn't help but feel a little confused. That woman drank too much. She might drink her life away later. Regarding Ye Xiun, Li Hao said directly without any concealment. Huh? Really? When Yeshun heard Li Hao's words, she couldn't help but look shocked and said in shock. Of course it's true. I'm a master and a miracle doctor, right? Her face turned pale. Li Hao said lightly again, and he could vaguely see that the woman's face had changed color due to drinking. It was not the rosy color of a normal drunken face, but was already a little green, but it was not very conspicuous under the light. Then what should we do? Tell her not to drink, right? Yeshun couldn't help but said again, feeling worried. I just warned them, but they don't listen, so there's nothing we can do. Li Hao said directly again. Just when Li Hao and Yeshun were talking, Song Jiaxin had already picked up the wine glass again, banged the glass in the hand of her best friend beside her, and then poured the wine in her hand into her mouth. But after drinking this glass of wine, Song Jiaxin felt that her stomach was extremely bloated, as if her stomach had been burst, and she couldn't help but want to vomit. Finally, Song Jiaxin couldn't bear it anymore. He vomited, but what he vomited was not wine, but bright red blood. Blood spurted out from Song Jiaxin's mouth and sprayed directly into the face of Zhang Jian, who was sitting opposite her. This sudden scene caught everyone by surprise. Ah! A screaming voice suddenly came from Li Ting's mouth next to Song Jiaxin. She looked at the scene in horror and felt that her whole body was not good. Zhang Jian stared blankly as Song Jiaxin sprayed him in the face. The next moment he was shocked to see that his hands and body were covered in blood. Ah! Blood! Zhang Jian also screamed in horror, he was really frightened. Yu Chao on the other side was also dumbfounded, looking at the scene in horror. What's going on? Miss Song, what's wrong with you? Yu Chao reacted and looked at Song Jiaxin again. But at this moment, Song Jiaxin couldn't answer, and she didn't know why she was vomiting blood. The moment she drank the glass of wine, Song Jiaxin's stomach was pierced and blood spurted out. But at this moment, her whole face turned extremely pale, and then she felt her head suddenly shaking and dizzy, and her vision slowly became blurry at this moment. Then, Song Jiaxin's consciousness also became blurred. Her body fell weakly to the side, unable to sit still. After that, she didn't know anything anymore. Ah! Jiaxin, what's wrong with you? Jiaxin, what's wrong? Don't scare me. Li Ting wanted to hold Song Jiaxin, but she failed. Song Jiaxin's body lay directly on the ground. Li Ting screamed in horror again, and her face became a little pale. Seeing Song Jiaxin's appearance, her clothes and skirts were all covered in blood, and blood was still coming out of her mouth. The scene was really horrifying. When had Li Ting ever seen such a scene? She was really frightened at this moment. Damn it, why are you vomiting blood? Yu Chao also stood up, looking at the horrific scene in front of him with fear in his heart. Brother Chao, what should we do now? What should we do? She drank and vomited blood. Zhang Jian said in panic again. He was also frightened. He didn't expect that drinking would actually cause an accident. How the hell do I know she can't drink anymore? How the hell do I know what to do? Yu Chao was also panicked and his expression changed drastically. Ah, Jiaxin, don't scare me. Are you okay? Li Ting was so frightened that she started crying and said to Song Jiaxin on the ground, but Song Jiaxin didn't know anything at the moment, so how could she answer her? This is the rooftop bar of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. There are many people drinking here and enjoying the scenery. They are also shocked by what happened here. People looked over here, and some people stood up from their seats. Damn it, this beauty is vomiting blood after drinking it. It's scary. I vomited too much blood, right? How much wine did you drink? Why are you still standing there? Fight the demon 20 quickly. Fight the demon 20 quickly. That's right, hurry up and fight the demon 20. Send him to the hospital. Voices of exclamation sounded from these people again, and many people had already gathered around. That's right, fight Yao Er0 quickly. Yu Chao also quickly said to Zhang Jian. Zhang Jian quickly picked up his mobile phone and dialed the Yao 20 emergency hotline. You could see that Zhang Jian's hand holding the mobile phone was shaking. Soon, the other end of the phone was picked up. Hey, come and save people. Zhang Jian said directly. Where's the address? Can you tell me more clearly? The operator on the phone asked Zhang Jian. Waldorf Hotel. She vomited blood because of drinking. Fortunately, the operator was very qualified and quickly figured out the situation, and then arranged for an ambulance to come. Then Zhang Jian hung up the phone again. How is it? Yu Chao immediately asked Zhang Jian. The ambulance is here, but it should take a while. Zhang Jian said in a deep voice, and then looked at Song Jiaxin on the ground, and couldn't help asking again. Brother Chao, do you think she will die? She vomited so much blood. How the hell do I know? Damn, I'm not doing this for you. Who the hell knows that she really can't drink anymore? Yu Chao was also very angry. If it wasn't for this guy to pick up beautiful women, how could such a thing happen? I thought it would be easier to get things done after drinking, but now it's good, drinking has caused trouble. Damn, if something really happens, we will be miserable. Maybe we will be locked up. Yu Chao said again, if Song Jiaxin really got into trouble, or died, then none of the three of them could escape. I'm afraid they would all be arrested, and they might even be sentenced and locked up. At this moment, Yu Chao suddenly remembered what the boy had just said. Alas, why didn't I listen to him just now? At this moment, Yu Chao felt a little regretful. Ah! We will be locked up too? No. I don't want to be locked up. Li Ting's face became paler when she heard Yu Chao's words, and she said in shock again, she was still so young, she didn't want to be locked up. Alas! Now, I can only pray that she is okay. Yu Chao sighed again and said in a deep voice. How could this happen? How could this happen? I should have listened to that guy just now. Li Ting still said unimaginably, and she felt extremely regretful in her heart. She should have listened to the guy who reminded them just now, and this result would not have happened. Alas, such a beautiful woman. She vomited blood. Really? How did this happen? Has the ambulance not come yet? It seems that it is too late. Is there a doctor? There should be a doctor in this Waldorf hotel, right? Voices were heard from all around. Everyone was no longer interested in the scenery. They were all looking at the woman on the ground. Make way. At this moment, a voice came from behind the crowd. Let me see her. At this time, a figure came from behind the crowd. It was Li Hao. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 479. Let me see her. A voice came from the side, and everyone looked around when they heard the sound. They saw a young boy walking over the crowd. It was Li Hao. Seeing the woman on the ground, Li Hao finally couldn't help but stand up. If he didn't come out again, this woman's life would be in danger, and it would be difficult for gods to save her. At this moment, Li Ting, Yu Chao, and Zhang Jian were shocked when they saw Li Hao. Is it you? Li Ting said to Li Hao in silence, isn't the guy in front of her the same boy who came out to remind them before? But they didn't listen to each other, which led to the current situation. What are you doing here again? But Zhang Jian's face darkened, and he said to Li Hao again. Why are you here to see me? Are you a doctor? As for Yu Chao, he looked at Li Hao in surprise and said. Do you want her dead? When Li Hao heard what Yu Chao and Zhang Jian said, he said in a deep voice, "If it weren't for you, why would she be like this?" When Yu Chao and the others heard Li Hao's words, their expressions suddenly turned ugly. This was tantamount to a slap in the face. Li Hao ignored the three people and looked at the woman named Song Jiaxin on the ground. The woman's stomach had been perforated, and the bleeding was not stopping. The blood loss was so much that the woman's face became abnormally pale, and the woman's heart rhythm was suddenly abnormal. Coupled with the vomiting of blood, it was even more, a lot of blood in the body passed through the esophagus and reached the woman's trachea, causing the woman to almost suffocate. In short, this woman on this ground is very dangerous, and she may die at any time. With a thought, Li Hao's consciousness swept out and clearly examined Song Jiaxin's physical condition. Immediately, Li Hao squatted down and picked up the woman on the ground. "What are you doing? Don't touch her." Everyone was shocked when they saw this scene, especially Zhang Jian, whose expression changed again, and he said angrily to Li Hao. This Song Jiaxin, whom he had never hugged before, was actually hugged by the other party. "It's very cold on the ground and it's easy to die suddenly. You're already in danger of death," Li Hao said directly, and then placed Song Jiaxin on a sofa not far away. The next moment, another jade needle appeared in Li Hao's hand. Tianqian 9 needles. Song Jiaxin was in danger and could die at any time, so she could only use some methods. Acupuncture was Li Hao's best method and the most powerful medical method. When everyone around them saw a jade needle appearing in Li Hao's hand, their faces suddenly showed surprise. He actually came out with a needle. What's going on? Is it going to be bloodletting? Is he a doctor? He seems to know medicine. A series of surprised sounds couldn't help but come from the mouths of those around them. Unexpectedly, Li Hao actually took out a needle at this time. "What are you going to do again?" When Zhang Jian saw this scene, he suddenly said sharply to Li Hao, "What else can we do?" "Of course, save people." Li Hao glanced at this guy indifferently, as if he were looking at an idiot. As soon as the words fell, the jade needle in Li Hao's hand also fell, directly piercing Song Jiaxin's stomach below her chest. On the jade needle, there is a wisp of Li Hao's cultivation spiritual power. "Stop!" However, when Zhang Jian saw this scene, he yelled at Li Hao angrily. He didn't know that Li Hao was saving people. He had never seen that saving people required acupuncture. Immediately, Zhang Jian even shouted at Li Hao. He rushed in the direction of Li Hao to stop Li Hao from injecting Song Jiaxin. "Get away!" However, just when Zhang Jian rushed to the area 1 meter in front of Li Hao, an angry voice resounded directly in the space, like a thunder. All he saw was that Li Hao raised his head and glanced at him, but his eyes were extremely sharp. At this moment, this voice echoed in everyone's ears, as if thunder exploded in their hearts. This voice seemed to be carrying the power of heaven, and the words were followed. Bang! At this moment, Zhang Jian's body felt as if he had received a heavy blow. He was knocked straight out and hit the wall in the distance. He almost flew off the rooftop. You must know that there are countless people outside. Outside the 10-story building. Hiss. Oh my God. It looks so scary. Are you really still a human? When the people around him saw this scene, they made extremely shocked sounds again, and the sounds of gasping for air kept coming. No one saw how Li Hao took action, and just one sound made the sky fly away. Wow, it's simply too appalling. At this moment, even Yu Chao, who was originally planning to stop Li Hao, was so frightened that he stood on the spot, his feet trembling a little. How many are scary? Fortunately, he didn't take action. Monk. Second brother, he must be a monk, right? At this moment, among the crowd, a woman who looked like she was in her 20s saw the scene in the corner, a gleam of light burst out in her eyes, and she said to the young man beside her, This woman has a sweet appearance, a delicate appearance, and is very elegant. At first glance, she looks like the daughter of a wealthy family. Next to the woman is a young man who looks to be a few years older than the woman. She looks relatively calm and sophisticated. The young man was staring closely at Li Hao at this moment, his expression also looking a little solemn. He must be a monk. At least he is better than me, the young man said in a deep voice, but his words were serious. The reason why he said this was because he could not see through the other party, but he could faintly feel a strong sense of oppression from the other party. When Tang Qianqian heard her second brother's words, she couldn't help but feel condensed in her heart. Even her arrogant second brother admitted that the other brother was stronger. His second brother's name was Tang Yi, and he was less than 25 years old. Sui is already a monk in the late stage of foundation building. And his second brother actually said that the other party was stronger than him. Wasn't that a pill formation? How is this possible? Tang Qinqian's heart trembled and she couldn't believe it. However, Tang Yi didn't say anything more. Instead, he stared at the young man's hands, and then he saw another scene that shocked him. I saw that this young man looked calm after he blew the guy away with a cold shout. Then, another jade needle appeared in his hand. There was a flash of spiritual light on the jade needle, and he directly under Tang Yi's gaze, he stabbed the woman in the chest. As a monk in the late stage of the foundation establishment realm, Tang Yi's perception is also extremely sharp. He can clearly see that at the moment when the jade needle fell, the woman who was drinking so much that she was vomiting blood and almost dying of beauty could not even breathe. Unexpectedly, at this moment, her chest rose and fell violently, and she resumed her steady breathing. Moreover, the blood in the woman's mouth stopped flowing, and her complexion slowly became rosy again. The magic of acupuncture. This is the magic of acupuncture. Tang Yi made a shocked sound at this moment and couldn't help but say, until now, seeing the two jade needles stuck in the woman's body, how could he not know that what the other party was performing at this moment was the acupuncture technique in medicine? The Tang family is a medical family, and he had heard his grandfather and father talk about the magic of acupuncture before. The path of medicine is broad and profound, just like cultivating immortals, it is ever-changing and has different methods. Some people know the symptoms by looking at their faces and complexions, some people know the symptoms by feeling their pulses, and some people simply tap a few acupoints twice. It can cure difficult and complicated diseases. But no matter what method, as long as it can cure the patient, it is the best method. And this magical art of acupuncture is the most miraculous among thousands of ways to treat diseases and save lives. Acupuncture can fix acupoints, connect bones, connect pulses, disperse blood stasis, and ventilate. In short, there is nothing that acupuncture cannot do in treating diseases and saving lives. There are very few medical masters in the world who truly know the magic of acupuncture, because those who truly know the magic of acupuncture must be monks, and that is his grandfather, Tang Wanqian, a famous doctor in Dehua, who is even regarded as the king of medicine. He doesn't know the magic of acupuncture, but he highly respects the real magic of acupuncture. Tang Yi didn't expect to meet a person here who knew the magic of acupuncture. He was shocked in his heart. Although the other party only used 2 acupuncture, the woman's condition improved visibly. Tang Qianqian next to her also made a sound of surprise when she heard what her second brother Tang Yi said, but she didn't quite believe it. The magic of acupuncture? Second brother? You said this is the magic of acupuncture? Is this the magic of acupuncture that Grandpa and the others are talking about? It's impossible. Naturally, like Tang Yi, she had heard her grandfather mention this magical art of acupuncture many times. It must be right. Qianqian, can you watch it? But Tang Yi became more and more certain, and immediately said to Tang Qianqian in a deep voice, looking straight at Li Hao's movements without turning around. How is that possible? Is it just him? Tang Qianqian frowned and looked at Li Hao, still feeling that it was a little impossible. He was just a year old. He seemed to be about the same age as her, right? How is it possible that even Grandpa doesn't know the magic of acupuncture? By the way, let Grandpa see if it's the magic of acupuncture and he'll know. Tang Qianqian suddenly thought of another idea. Since they were not sure whether the other party was using acupuncture or not, their grandfather, the medical master, must know it. They would know it after just one look. Although their grandfather is not here, it is not a problem. Just record a video. Thinking of this, Tang Qianqian took out her phone without saying a word, then turned on the camera, which was pointed in the direction of Li Hao. Of course, in addition to Tang Qianqian, some of the onlookers had already picked up their mobile phones, some took pictures, and some even started to open Douyin and start live broadcasting. At the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, a beautiful woman in a short skirt drank until she vomited blood. A beautiful girl drinks until she bleeds, and a handsome guy gives her an injection. Hot spot. Li Hao naturally noticed that someone was taking photos or recording videos of himself with a mobile phone at this moment, but Li Hao didn't pay attention. Li Hao circulated the power of cultivation, and the spiritual power directly entered Song Jiaxin's body along the jade needle, directly repairing the parts of Song Jiaxin's body injured by drinking, and even dispersing the alcohol in her body, even causing the abnormal heart rhythm return to normal. The next moment, another jade needle appeared in Li Hao's hand. This jade needle was exactly the same as the previous two. There was a spiritual light shining on the jade needle, revealing a sense of emptiness. The third needle of the Tianqian 9 needles. Under the gaze of Tang Yi and others, the jade needle in Li Hao's hand pierced Song Jiaxin's chest again. And at the moment when Li Hao's jade needle pierced Song Jiaxin's chest. Puff. Suddenly, Song Jiaxin sat up and spit out a large mouthful of blood, but the blood was actually a black color. Everyone looked at the scene in shock, wondering what was going on. Why did she spit blood again? But the next moment, they were shocked to see that the woman who had originally spit blood woke up at this moment, and her face had regained its vitality. What happened to me? Song Jiaxin looked at the situation around her blankly, as if she had been in another world. Her thoughts were a little dazed, and she didn't know what happened. Why were there so many people? And they were all staring at me? Ah! The next moment, Song Jiaxin screamed again, because she saw that her beautiful skirt was covered with blood, which looked a little scary. Jiaxin. At this time, a call sounded in the space again. It was Li Ting, who was very excited to see Song Jiaxin wake up. Jiaxin, are you okay? You just vomited blood. You really scared me to death. Li Ting came directly to Song Jiaxin's side and said to her, feeling scared. What's going on? Song Jiaxin frowned. Although she was sober at this moment and no longer drunk, she couldn't remember what happened before. She only knew that she seemed to be drinking before, and she didn't know anything after drinking. Alas, Jiaxin, it's all my fault. If I hadn't persuaded you to drink, you wouldn't have vomited blood. It really scared me to death. Li Ting sighed again and said slowly. Awake. It's really cured. Oh my God, just 3 needles. It's cured. SHH, this is too magical. A miracle doctor. A miracle doctor. Dot. At this moment, the people around saw the scene and made extremely shocked voices. They were extremely excited and looked at Li Hao with different eyes. Is this the magic of acupuncture? It's really amazing. Tang Yi's eyes were also shining. He looked at Li Hao and exclaimed. He was more and more sure that the other party must have performed the magic of acupuncture. It was just 3 needles, and it was cured. Tang Yi's heart was shocked to the point that it could not be added. Not only him, but also Tang Qianqian beside him. Her beautiful eyes trembled and her heart was in turmoil. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tien Tien Taido. Chapter 480. Tang Yi and Tang Qianqian had hard to conceal shock in their eyes. The other party gave 3 injections, and a woman who drank so much that she vomited blood and was about to die was cured immediately. This acupuncture magic is really amazing. Tang Yi and Tang Qianqian had only heard about it before, but now they saw it with their own eyes. Song Jiaxin seemed to remember a little bit after hearing what Li Ting said next to her. Yes, she had been drinking before, and she really couldn't drink anymore, but Li Ting and the others refused to listen. She had no choice but to drink it, and in the end she felt so uncomfortable that she spurted blood. "Thank you." Song Jiaxin looked at the young man in front of her and said in a deep voice, with great gratitude in her voice. If it weren't for the young man in front of her, she would have died. She was still so young, and she didn't want to die at all. Looking at the young man in front of her, Song Jiaxin noticed that this young man was so handsome. Compared with him, Yu Chao and Zhang Jian were really far apart, and this young man even saved her life. "Don't worry about easy things," Li Hao said lightly, as if he had done an insignificant thing, but then reminded Song Jiaxin, "The body is yours, and your life is yours too. If it's gone, it's gone. It's too late to regret." After hearing Li Hao's words, Song Jiaxin showed a hint of shame on her face and lowered her head. "Well, I know. I won't do it again." Song Jiaxin nodded and said in response. She remembered Li Hao's words in her heart and her affection for Li Hao doubled. She just felt that when looking for a boyfriend, she should find someone like Li Hao. She raised her head and looked into Li Hao's beautiful eyes. Another splendor appeared. "Get a room and take a shower," Li Hao reminded Song Jiaxin again. "Ah!" Song Jiaxin was stunned when she heard Li Hao's words. "Book a room? Bath? What's the meaning? Could it be that this is too fast?" For a moment, Song Jiaxin was panicked, but her mood was a little agitated. In the past, when watching TV dramas, people promised life-saving favors, but this was going to fall on her? Agree or refuse? However, it was at this time that Song Jiaxin heard the young man in front of her speak softly. "My whole body is covered in vomit, it really stinks." "Well." Song Jiaxin's pretty face suddenly condensed, and she was dumbfounded again. Only then did she realize that she was overthinking. Indeed, her dress was covered with the blood she had just vomited, as well as the wine she drank and the food she ate. The smell was indeed a bit strong. "Miss Song, are you okay?" But at this moment, Zhang Jian came to Song Jiaxin again, wanting to care. "You scared us to death. Come on, let's take you to the hospital." That Yu Chao also came over and said. When Song Jiaxin saw these two people, her expression darkened, and she said in a cold voice, "Thank you, I'm fine. I'm fine, I don't need to go to the hospital." Song Jiaxin could feel that her physical condition was very good at this moment. When Yu Chao and Zhang Jian heard Song Jiaxin's words, they immediately put their hot faces on their cold buttocks, and their expressions became a little ugly. Song Jiaxin looked as if she was thousands of miles away from Yu Chao and the two of them. She didn't even look at them, but her eyes fell on the young man in front of her. "That." Song Jiaxin opened her mouth and was just about to ask for the phone number and WeChat account of the young man in front of her so that we could have a chance to have dinner and communicate together in the future. However, Song Jiaxin didn't ask any questions when she saw a stunning-looking woman coming to the side of the young man in front of her. The woman was tall, with a delicate face and an unparalleled temperament. She was simply every man's perfect dream. Like a lover, just seeing this woman, Song Jiaxin's original confidence in her appearance actually turned a little bit ugly at this moment. And this woman seemed to have drunk a lot of wine, and her beautiful face also had some crimson color. At this moment, the eyes of everyone around him also fell on the woman in front of him, especially those men, whose eyes were a little brighter, and a man's desire for a beautiful woman was born in his heart. Li Hao, is she okay? The woman who came to Li Hao was naturally Ye Xiun. When she came to Li Hao's side, she directly put her hand on Li Hao's shoulder and asked Li Hao. Well, it's okay. A smile appeared on Li Hao's face and he nodded. Then let's go to the room. I feel so dizzy, I feel like I'm sleeping. Ye Xiun said to Li Hao again, as if she was losing her balance. Li Hao said in a deep voice again, and then without any hesitation, he put his arms around Ye Xiun's slender waist and walked outside. And when this scene fell into the eyes of the men around him, their eyes widened and their hearts were filled with envy and jealousy. Damn, she's so beautiful. Is she that guy's girlfriend? She's so happy. Oh, I wish I had such a beautiful girlfriend. I will not get out of bed for 3 days. The Chinese cabbage is so humiliated by that thing. Voices came from the people around them again. When Song Jiaxin saw this scene, her pretty face became a little ugly, and there was a hint of darkness in her eyes. It turns out that the other party already has a girlfriend. And she has such a beautiful girlfriend, so she has no chance at all. Watching the two people leave, Song Jiaxin felt extremely sad, and then she left directly, not wanting to stay here anymore. Hey, Jiaxin, where are you going? When Li Ting saw Song Jiaxin was leaving, she quickly asked again. Take a shower and go to bed. Song Jiaxin said in a deep voice, as if she was not in a good mood, and left directly. Li Ting hesitated and wanted to go with her best friend, but was left behind by Yu Chao. When choosing between a best friend and a boyfriend, which one is more important is the boyfriend. Damn it, you guys went to check out a room, what should I do? Zhang Jian was very unhappy. He felt that Song Jiaxin had not succeeded in stealing the chicken but losing the rice. When Yu Chao saw his brother like this, he came to Zhang Jian's side, put his hands on Zhang Jian's body, and whispered to Zhang Jian. Oh brother, I made a miscalculation today. But it doesn't matter, why don't I give you a shout later? The money is mine. Zhang Jian's eyes lit up when he heard Yu Chao's words, but he said a little worriedly. But the ones outside are not clean. And if they are cheap, the quality is not good either. Well, that's true. I can't afford it if it's too expensive. Yu Chao nodded again and said in a deep voice. Suddenly, he thought of something again and said tentatively to Zhang Jian. How about we do it together? Zhang Jian was shocked when he heard what Yu Chao said, his eyes widened and he asked. What together? Yu Chao, what do you think? Of course we will go to the battlefield together. Zhang Jian looked at Yu Chao in disbelief, going to the battlefield? Soon, Zhang Jian understood. Isn't this bad? Li Ting is your girlfriend. Zhang Jian looked at Yu Chao with wide eyes and said. He really didn't expect that Yu Chao would say this. He said weakly, but he couldn't help but feel a sense of expectation in his heart. What's wrong with this? Women, clothes? You can change them after you use them. Besides, we are good brothers. What's the difference between you and me? Yu Chao said directly to Zhang Jian again, looking very generous. As a good brother, he naturally wants to share good things. Yeah. Good brother. Hearing Yu Chao's serious words, Zhang Jian's face was touched, he nodded heavily and said excitedly. Then it's settled, I'll ask her, don't worry, there will definitely be no problem. Yu Chao said again, then turned to Li Ting's side again. Chao, what are you talking about? Li Ting also felt a little dizzy, but she still wanted to have sex with her boyfriend. When she saw that her boyfriend was still hanging around with her brother, she said in a deep voice. Yu Chao directly hugged Li Ting's waist, put his mouth next to Li Ting's ear, and said. Baby, do you want something exciting tonight? Huh? What's exciting? When Li Ting heard Yu Chao's words, Her face became extremely rosy again, and she asked curiously. "The three of us together?" Yu Chao said directly. "Ah." When Li Ting heard Yu Chao's words, she was stunned and looked at Yu Chao with wide eyes in disbelief. She did not expect that Yu Chao actually said that the three of them should be together. "Chao, how is this possible? What do you think this person is?" Li Ting yelled at Yu Chao, pouting unhappily. "It's okay. Didn't you feel comfortable the last few times? It's such a happy decision. It will definitely be very exciting and comfortable." Yu Chao said to Li Ting again. "His health is not very good. To be precise, his kidneys are a little weak, and he often cannot satisfy the other party in less than 2 minutes. It's really not possible." Li Ting still said, but when she heard what Yu Chao said, her heart began to waver, and she even had some faint expectations. "It's okay, but no one knows," Yu Chao said again from the side. "Let's go." Yu Chao hugged Li Ting and left directly. He also gave Zhang Jian a look, and Zhang Jian immediately followed him excitedly. After the three people left, Tang Yi also looked at the three of them strangely and murmured, "It's so fun to have fun." Although the words of the three people just spoke very quietly, and there were many people here and noisy, they were heard very clearly by Tang Yi, who was in the late stage of foundation establishment realm, and he couldn't help but let out a sigh. "Second brother, what did you say?" Next to him, Tang Qian said weakly to Tang Yi. Nothing. How about it?" "I'm right, right? That guy really used the magic of acupuncture, right?" Tang Yi said to Tang Qian in a deep voice again. "Yeah. It's so amazing. He actually knows the magic of acupuncture. And her girlfriend is really beautiful." Tang Qinqian's beautiful eyes were also shining with brilliance. She nodded heavily and said, "She is also an out-and-out beauty, with many suitors, but when she saw Yeshiun just now, she was also shocked. The other person's appearance was actually better than hers. It is indeed beautiful." Tang Yi also said in a deep voice that the other party's girlfriend was indeed the most beautiful one among the many beauties he had ever seen, bar none. "By the way, did you record the video of him giving the acupuncture just now?" Tang Yi asked Tang Qian again. "Of course I recorded it," Tang Qian said. "Send it to him quickly so he can have a look." Tang Yi reminded again. "Yes." Tang Qian responded and immediately opened WeChat. Then she found a contact named Old Man Tang in the address book and directly sent the video of Li Hao saving people. "Grandpa, take a look, is this acupuncture magic?" After sending the video, Tang Qian also left a voice message. At this moment, in a small town hundreds of kilometers away from here, there is a small mountain village called Baiyun Village, and there is a small valley next to the small mountain village. The entrance of this valley is shrouded in clouds and mist, and it is difficult for ordinary people to enter. There is a road to the entrance of the valley, and there is a huge stone at the entrance, with 3 imposing characters written on the stone. The 3 characters are, Yaoang Valley. That's right, this is Medicine King Valley, a strange place in Dewa. It is the secluded place of Tang Wanchen, the master of medicine who is regarded as the king of medicine. There is a road built to the entrance of this valley. There are many luxury cars parked at the entrance, such as Rolls-Royce, Maybach, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, etc. It is hard to believe that there are so many luxury cars at the entrance of this small valley. And there are many people who have come to the front of the stone at this moment, and some people even knelt down directly. "Master Medicine King, please save my father. Senior Medicine King, please let us in. Tang Lao." Voices came out from these people's mouths. Obviously, these people came here to see the king of medicine Tang Wanchen, and wanted Tang Wanchen to treat their illnesses and save their lives. They either came here in person or for their family members. Unlike the scene outside the valley, the valley is like a paradise, with a different world. The valley is beautiful, with clear water and mountains, and exotic flowers and plants everywhere. A huge villa, built on the mountain, is extremely magnificent, full of ancient flavor, and interlaced courtyards. At this moment, in the yard in front of an attic, an old man is lying leisurely on a recliner, reading a yellowed book in his hand while bathing in the sunlight scattered from the sky in the center of the valley. The old man is wearing a gray robe, with white hair and a childlike face. He looks like he is in his 60s or 70s, but he is full of wisdom. And this old man is Tang Wanchen, the master of Dawa medicine, Tang Wanchen, who is regarded as the king of medicine, and the grandfather of Tang Qianqian and Tang Yi. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Tian Taido. Chapter 481. Tang Wanchen usually lives in Medicine King Valley with some servants. As for his sons and grandsons, they are basically outside because there are many industries of the Tang family outside. Tang Wanchen's son, Tang Qianqian, and Tang Yi's father, runs these industries outside and only comes back to Medicine King Valley during festivals. As for those people outside Medicine King Valley who ask him to cure diseases and save lives, Tang Wanli has long been accustomed to it and basically ignores them. If I have to save everyone, I might as well die. Birth, aging, illness and death are human nature, and they are very normal things. Even if I am regarded as the king of medicine, I am not a god, and not everyone can save me. Since his wife died many years ago and his sworn brother became a disabled person, and he could only watch and do nothing, Tang Wanli's heart has died. He hides in this Medicine King Valley and does not come out. The disputes in the world have nothing to do with him. At this moment, Tang Wanli was lying on a chair leisurely, looking at a medical book collected from outside. Although he was in seclusion, Tang Wanli still did not give up on curing his brother, so on weekdays, Tang Wanli would let his son and others search for some medical books in the outside world, looking for ways to cure his brother in the books. In fact, Tang Wanli really found a way to cure his brother. That is the magic of acupuncture. His brother was poisoned by others, which caused the meridians to atrophy, so that his cultivation was abolished and he became a complete waste. Only the magic of acupuncture can cure it well. However, Tang Wanli did not know the real magic of acupuncture, and no one on the mainland knew it. Tang Wanli could only look for it in these medical books, hoping to find a little knowledge about the magic of acupuncture from these books. But after so many years, there was no trace of the magic of acupuncture, and gradually, Tang Wanli did not hold much hope. Ding! At this moment, a mobile phone notification sounded on a coffee table next to the chair, and the screen of the mobile phone also lit up. In Tang Wanli's eyes, this mobile phone is a good thing. Even if he stays at home in the Medicine King Valley, it can let Tang Wanli know what is happening in the world. Watch the news, flip through Tremolo, read novels, etc. In the eyes of Mr. Tang Wanli, the mobile phone has now become his carry-on thing, which is very convenient. For a while, the old man was obsessed with reading novels. It was an urban supernatural novel called God Level Tips, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. He thought the novel was simply wonderful, and recently, the old man was obsessed with watching beautiful women dancing live on Tremolo. He thought those beautiful women were twisting and turning, which was very exciting. When he was in the mood, he would occasionally reward a carnival or something. Mr. Tang thought this mobile phone was a very practical thing, even better than magic tools. At this moment, when Mr. Tang heard the notification sound of his mobile phone, he thought it was some advertisement or news, and he glanced at the screen of his mobile phone inadvertently. It seems to be a WeChat message. Who would send a WeChat message to himself? Tang Wanchen put down the book in his hand in doubt, and then took the mobile phone, unlocked it with fingerprint, and opened WeChat to see. It turned out to be a message from his granddaughter, and it was a video. What video is this? And behind the video was Tang Qinqin's voice. Tang Wanchen clicked it directly to listen. Grandpa, take a look, is this acupuncture magic? Hearing his granddaughter Tang Qinqin's words, Tang Wanchen was shocked. What? What did Qian say? Acupuncture magic? Tang Wanchen was surprised, and immediately thought that his granddaughter was joking, right? Was she just trying to make him happy? Anyway, Tang Wanchen's first thought was not to believe it, but he still opened the video sent by Tang Qian. In the video, a woman was lying on the sofa, with blood on her body, and it was noisy around, like in a bar. This girl, she actually went to drink again. Tang Wanchen couldn't help shaking his head and said. Tang Wanchen looked at the woman in the video again. The woman was pale and almost out of breath. She must have had an accident because of drinking. Then, Tang Wanchen was shocked again. Tang Wanchen saw that there were 2 jade needles on the woman's body. Although it was a recorded video, it could still be seen that the 2 jade needles were extremely good. Moreover, next to this woman, there stood a young man with extraordinary demeanor, holding a jade needle in his hand. The next moment, the young man seemed to have a transcendent aura, and then the jade needle in his hand shone with spiritual light, and it fell directly and pierced the woman's chest. After the jade needle was inserted, the woman who was originally unconscious and about to die at any time actually sat up directly, and even sprayed out the blood clots in her body. The whole person woke up directly, and even her face became ruddy, and she was cured directly. Then, the video was gone. This is acupuncture magic. It's really acupuncture magic. But at this moment, Tang Wanchen's eyes widened and he made a shocking sound. As a master of medicine, he could tell at a glance that the other party was indeed performing acupuncture magic. The 3 jade needles were clearly a set. Is there really someone who can perform acupuncture magic? Tang Wanchen has been looking for it for many years, but he didn't expect that his granddaughter would accidentally find it. Immediately, Tang Wanchen found Tang Qinqin's phone number in the address book again, and then called her directly. Magic City, Waldorf Hotel. Tang Qian and Tang Yi are not from Magic City. They came to Magic City to discuss business this time and will stay at the Waldorf Hotel tonight. The 2 were just about to go back to their room to rest. Ding ding ding. But at this moment, Tang Qinqin's cell phone rang suddenly. When Tang Qian saw the name, it turned out to be Old Man Tang. A strange color flashed in her beautiful eyes. It's Grandpa. Without any hesitation, Tang Qian picked up the phone. Hello, Grandpa. Tang Qian shouted directly. Girl, where are you? Where did you get this video? Is the young man in the video next to you now? The old man's voice came directly from the phone. From this voice, it can be heard that the old man's emotions are extremely agitated and very uneasy. Grandpa, of course I took this video. It's acupuncture magic, right? Tang Qian was also stunned, and immediately said again. Of course it's acupuncture magic. It's true. Girl, tell me quickly, where are you? Is this young man next to you? I only heard Old Man Tang Wanchen say again, with a bit of anxiety in his voice. Hearing the old man's tone, Tang Qian couldn't help but feel shocked again. Grandpa confirmed that the other party was indeed performing acupuncture magic. This is too unbelievable. My second brother and I are in the Magic City, Waldorf Hotel. That guy just left after saving that girl. He left a few minutes ago. He must have gone to a hotel with his girlfriend to have sex. Tang Qian said directly. What? Just left? Going to a hotel? Tang Wanchen on the other end of the phone heard Tang Qinqin's words and hurriedly said to Tang Qian. Girl, hurry up and find this young man. Be sure to get his contact information. Your grandpa has something to ask him. It's best to bring him to Yeoang Valley. No matter what conditions, he can agree. When Tang Wanchan's words fell into Tang Qinqin's ears, Tang Qianqian was stunned. Ah! The old man has something to ask him. And he can agree to any conditions. This shows how much the old man values him. What? Hurry up! Did you hear it? The old man's words came from the phone again. I heard it. Tang Qianqian responded quickly and hung up the phone, but she was not feeling well. Beside him, Tang Yi was also shocked. He naturally heard what the old man said to Tang Qianqian on the phone. He didn't expect that the guy would attract so much attention from the old man. Second brother, what should we do now? At this time, Tang Qianqian looked at him again and asked him. It seems that we can only do what the old man said. Find that guy first. Since they want to get a room, they must be in this hotel. We will know if we check at the front desk. Tang Yi said directly again. The other party had not left for a few minutes and was in this hotel. It should be easy to find. Yeah. Tang Qianqian nodded immediately. Immediately, the two of them left here and went to the lobby of the hotel. On the other side, Li Hao had already held Ye Xiun in his arms and went directly to the room. Soon, the two entered the room. Li Hao directly put Ye Xiun on the bed again, but Li Hao did not let go of his hand. Ye Xiun also hugged Li Hao's neck. At this moment, Ye Xiun's face was blushing, so bright and beautiful that it was extremely moving. Li Hao looked at Ye Xiun in front of him, and his heart couldn't help but move, and his body couldn't help but become a little hot. Really tempting. Ye Xiun also looked at Li Hao in front of him. The two were close to each other, and their eyes met. Ye Xiun's shy eyes became a little blurred. Since the moment Li Hao appeared in front of her, Ye Xiun's heart also belonged to Li Hao. Li Hao was the man who could give her a sense of security, the man who could fight all over the world for him, so domineering, so obsessed with her, and he could do both the hall and the kitchen. Where else in the world can you find such a man? So, Ye Xiun was not going to refuse again. No matter what Li Hao did, she was willing, just like now. Xiun, you are so beautiful. Li Hao couldn't help saying, looking at the charming Ye Xiun. When Li Hao heard what Li Hao said, her pretty face was already shy, but she still asked Li Hao again, wanting an accurate answer. Li Hao, do you like me? Yes, I do. Xiun, I fell in love with you from the moment I first saw you. Li Hao nodded and said seriously. Yes. I like you too. Hearing Li Hao's words, Ye Xiun said softly again. You won't be like this to other girls, right? Ye Xiun asked Li Hao curiously. Li Hao was startled, thinking that other girls would not say that. It was different. Li Hao was calm in the face of the collapse of the mountain, and even said to Ye Xiun with deep affection, of course not. Only you. Xiun. Yeah. I believe you. Ye Xiun heard what Li Hao said and said directly. But as soon as the voice fell, Ye Xiun's pretty face went straight to Li Hao's face. The next moment, a pair of red lips were directly printed on Li Hao's mouth. Ye Xiun actually took the initiative to kiss Li Hao, which was something Li Hao did not expect. The iceberg goddess also had such an active time. Ye Xiun was obviously a little awkward, it should be the first kiss. But Li Hao was already an old driver, familiar with the road. The two hugged each other passionately, as if they wanted to embed each other's body into their own body. Passionate selflessness. When the love is strong, everything happens so naturally. However, just when Li Hao was ready to go further. Ding dong. The doorbell rang at the door of the room. Ding dong. Ding dong. Li Hao didn't want to pay attention to it, but the doorbell rang again. Li Hao swept his consciousness and sensed that there was a man and a woman standing at the door. They were actually cultivators. The man was in the late stage of foundation building and the woman was in the early stage of foundation building. However, Li Hao didn't take this cultivation level seriously. Did he walk into the wrong room? He didn't recognize them at all. On the bed, Ye quickly tidied up her clothes. I'll go and see. Li Hao also pulled up his pants, said to Ye, and went to open the door with his bare chest. The next moment, Li Hao opened the door a crack. Who is it? Is there something wrong? Li Hao looked at the man and woman outside the door and asked coldly. The two people at the door were naturally Tang Yi and Tang Qianqian, the brother and sister. They asked about Li Hao's room from the lobby customer service of this hotel, and came here directly at this moment. The two were stunned when they saw Li Hao appearing shirtless. What a great figure, bronze skin, but with solid muscles, the body is full of strength. Tang Qianqian's pretty face couldn't help but blush. Hello, brother, I'm Tang Yi, she is my sister Tang Qianqian, we have something to ask of you. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 482. Well, hello, brother, I am Tang Yi, and she is my sister Tang Qianqian. We have something to ask of you. Tang Yi looked at Li Hao inside the door, his eyes also focused. He could see from Li Hao's shirtless body that Li Hao's physical body was very powerful, and he spoke directly to Li Hao at this moment. Li Hao frowned when he heard Tang Yi's words. You have something to ask me for? Is it a knock on the door this late at night? Li Hao looked at the two people in a deep voice. These two people really had no eyesight at all. Didn't they see that he was about to do something serious? No time, don't get in the way, go wherever you need to go. Li Hao said directly to the two of them, his voice was not polite at all. Bang. The next moment, the sound of closing the door resounded directly here again, and Li Hao directly closed the door of this room. Outside the door, Tang Qianqian and Tang Yi looked at this scene, their faces livid and ugly. Hateful. Tang Qianqian was so angry that she stamped her feet, her pretty face showing frost. Tang Yi next to him was also very unhappy. Tang Qianqian was so angry that she raised her hand and knocked on the door a few more times. Boom, boom, boom. In the room, Li Hao was about to return to bed to continue the next step with Ye, but before he took 2 steps, the knock on the door rang again. Li Hao paused, with a chill on his face. The next moment, Li Hao opened the door to the room and looked coldly at the two people outside the door. Can't you hear me? Li Hao said coldly to the two of them. Well, brother, we don't mean to offend. We just want to ask you to go to Yaoang Valley with us. Our grandpa needs your help for something. It doesn't matter how much it costs, just set a price. Tang Yi said to Li Hao again. He. When Li Hao heard this Tang Yi's words, he laughed disdainfully. Make a price? Do you think I'm short of money? Li Hao said lightly, but his voice was filled with extreme pride. Tang Yi's face suddenly darkened when he heard Li Hao's words. At this time, Tang Qianqian next to him spoke again. As long as you come with us to Yaoang Valley, no matter what the conditions are. Tang Qianqian thought of what the old man said. This is what the old man said. Oh? Really? You can agree to any conditions. Li Hao's eyes suddenly condensed, and he looked at Tang Qianqian with a half smile. When Tang Qianqian saw Li Hao's eyes, her heart skipped a beat, but she still said proudly. That's right, I can agree to any conditions. If you ask, there is nothing that our Tang family can't do. Really? Then I want you. Can you agree? Li Hao said coldly to Tang Qianqian again, his eyes scanning Tang Qianqian's body with a wicked smile. Ah! Upon hearing Li Hao's words, Tang Qianqian was stunned, and her expression suddenly changed. She didn't expect that Li Hao would put forward such a condition and ask her. How can this be done? You. Tang Qianqian looked at Li Hao with wide eyes, and anger suddenly appeared on her face. What am I? What? Can't do it? Didn't you agree to any conditions just now? Li Hao sneered again and said lightly, but there was a hint of ridicule in his voice. Tang Qinqian's face turned extremely ugly when she heard Li Hao's words. Indeed, she had agreed to any condition just now, but now she was slapped in the face. Brother, let's change it. This, my sister, naturally cannot be used as a condition. Next to him, Tang Yi also spoke to Li Hao. Since you can't do it, what can you say? Hurry up and get out. If you continue to disturb me, I will destroy you. Li Hao said sternly to the two of them again, with a chill in his voice. At the same time, a powerful aura was instantly released from Li Hao's body and descended on the two of them. At this moment, Tang Yi and Tang Qianqian suddenly felt an astonishing force of oppression fall on them, making them feel suffocated for a moment. It's absolutely terrifying. The two of them suddenly felt a sense of extreme horror and felt a powerful crisis. Cold sweat broke out on their foreheads instantly, and they felt as if half of their feet had stepped into the gate of hell. The person in front of them was the king of hell. No joke, this guy in front of me is definitely no joke. He must be able to do it. The two of them had this idea in their minds at the same time. The two of them were shocked to the extreme. The guy in front of them must be a strong man. His cultivation aura was so powerful that it frightened them. The two of them looked at Li Hao in shock, their bodies motionless, and they did not dare to say anything. If you have anything to do, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Get out. I only heard the guy in front of me say to them coldly. Bang. The next moment, the door closed again. It was at this moment when the door closed that the strong feeling of oppression on the two people dissipated. Phew. What a terrible feeling. Tang Qianqian exhaled a long and heavy breath, and then she relaxed a little, but the shock in her heart did not diminish at all, and she said slowly. He is definitely a master. Don't mess with him. Tang Yi also said in shock from the side, the guy in front of him must be a strong master, because the cultivation aura released by him is even stronger than their grandfather, Mr. Tang. Second brother, what should we do now? Next to him, Tang Qianqian asked Tang Yi again. What else can we do? Of course we should go back to sleep. We can't afford to offend you. We didn't come at the right time and we disturbed them. Tang Yi said in a deep voice again, already aware of the problem. The other party was clearly doing that with his girlfriend. It was really not the right time for the two of them to come here. It would definitely be very serious for anyone to be disturbed at this critical moment. Not happy. It is normal for the other party to be angry, and as a master, the other party did not take action, which can be considered very kind to them. But it's something Grandpa told me. Tang Qianqian said again. Of course we can't give up on what Grandpa told us. Let's come see him again tomorrow morning, right? Didn't you hear what he just said, that you have something to talk about tomorrow? Tang Yi said in a deep voice again. The other party's words clearly meant giving them a chance to come back tomorrow. Tang Qianqian nodded immediately. Then, the two of them went directly to their meeting rooms to rest. But at this time, ding ding ding. Tang Qinqian's cell phone rang again. Tang Qianqian took out her cell phone and saw that it was the old man calling. Hey, Grandpa. Tang Qianqian directly answered the phone and said into the phone. Qianqian, how are things going? Is the call coming soon? Is the other party willing to come to my Medicine King Valley? On the phone, Tang Wanqian spoke directly to Tang Qianqian. No. She doesn't want to come. Tang Qianqian said truthfully. Really, you can't handle such a small thing. Forget it, I'll come here myself. You and that boy Tang Yi will be there to guard you. Hearing Tang Qinqin's words, Tang Wanchen on the opposite side seemed a little unhappy and said it as if he was talking. After saying that, the old man on the other side hung up the phone directly. When Tang Qianqian heard what the old man said, she was a little unhappy at first, but when she heard that her old man said that he would come in person, her whole body was suddenly shocked, and she felt unbelievable in her heart. Tang Yi next to him was exactly the same, with shock written all over his face. The old man said he wanted to come in person? Oh my God, did I hear you right? Tang Yi said in shock, feeling extremely shocked in his heart. You know, the old man has been hiding in the Yaoang Valley for many years. He doesn't care about the affairs on the mainland at all. He won't even come out if something happens to his family members. It's often Tang Qianqian, Tang Yi, and others. The younger generation took the initiative to go to Yaoang Valley to visit the old man. But just now, Tang Qianqian and Tang Yi heard the old man say that he wanted to come here in person. This was such a shocking thing. Of course, they couldn't believe it. Medicine King Tang Wanchen is leaving Medicine King Valley and entering the world again. If this news spreads, the world will be shocked. The two of them didn't expect that the old man would leave Yaoang Valley and make a trip in person for this guy. This shows how much the old man attaches great importance to this guy who knows the magic of acupuncture. At this moment, in the Medicine King Valley, an old man in grey robe put down the mobile phone in his hand and looked outside Yaoang Valley. His eyes were sharp, as if penetrating the void. Brother, I finally found the magic of acupuncture. Don't worry. I will definitely cure you. Tang Wanchen murmured, with a hint of determination in his voice. The next moment, Mr. Tang walked directly towards the entrance of Yaoang Valley. Outside the Medicine King Valley, figures are still waiting here, begging towards the Medicine King Valley, hoping that their sincerity can move the Medicine King. However, at this time, ahead, at the entrance of Medicine King Valley, the place that was originally shrouded in fog and inaccessible to everyone, unexpectedly at this moment, the fog suddenly dispersed on both sides, and a clear passage appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Everyone looked closely ahead at this moment. On the passage, a figure in grey robe stepped out. It didn't look like he was walking fast, but he appeared in front of everyone again in an instant. This is an old man with white hair and a childlike face. He has a majestic temperament about him. At first glance, he is no ordinary person. Someone couldn't help but take out the photos that had been saved for a long time on their mobile phones and take a look, and then the exclamations continued to resound throughout the space. It's Medicine King. He is Medicine King Tang Wanli. Oh my God, the Medicine King is here. The old man in front of me walked out of the Medicine King Valley with an extraordinary bearing, and he was very similar to the picture of the Demon King on everyone's mobile phone, so it was certain that the old man in front of him was the Medicine King Tang Wanli. Amidst the exclamations, figures were seen heading directly in front of Tang Wanli. Master Yao Wang, please save me. I have cancer and I won't live for a year. I don't want to die. Senior Medicine King, please save my dad. My dad has leukemia. He will die soon. Senior Medicine King, I have been waiting for you for more than half a year. You finally showed up. My wife has a mental problem, please. Half a year is nothing, I've been waiting for more than a year. I came first. Master Yao Wang, I'm infected with monkeypox, please help me. These people came directly to Tang Wanli, begged him, and even knelt down. Some of them had been waiting for a long time, and some even lived nearby, and came here every day to wait, but without exception, these people were squatting here to wait for a chance, hoping that the king of medicine Tang Wanchen would treat them or their families and save their lives. Tang Wanli glanced at these people and frowned slightly. He was not a saint, and he would not save everyone. Since you have waited for me for so long, this spiritual liquid, you take it and divide it, 1 drop per person, take it and dilute it and give it to the sick, it can relieve or cure most of the diseases. Tang Wanli said to these people in a deep voice, and then waved his hand, and a jade bottle appeared on the stone tablet beside him. In this jade bottle is the spiritual liquid he refined with the essence of many spiritual medicines, which has a strange medicinal effect. It may not cure terminal illnesses, but it is no problem to let people with terminal illnesses live longer. When everyone heard Tang Wanli's words, their expressions were shocked, and their eyes fell on the jade bottle, and excitement suddenly appeared in their eyes. Spiritual liquid? That's great. Thank you, Master Medicine King. My dad is saved. Countless people roared excitedly, looking at the jade bottle, which was filled with incomparable heat. The next moment, these people rushed to the location of the jade bottle. Remember, 1 drop per person, don't take more, or you will die. Tang Wanli reminded everyone again that this bottle of spiritual liquid has a strong medicinal effect and energy, which is not something that ordinary people can bear. 1 drop is already the limit. After Tang Wanli finished speaking, he no longer paid attention to these people. He moved and disappeared directly. When these people saw this scene, they were shocked again. It really came and went without a trace, a real immortal method. For a time, everyone felt more and more in awe of Medicine King Tang Wanchen. Soon, what happened here was spread. The news that Medicine King Tang Wanchen had left Medicine King Valley also spread like wildfire, and spread, shaking the entire Dawa, and even the world. First, the god of war Kunlun returned and fought with Master Li Hao. Then, Medicine King Valley, Master Medicine King, left the valley. Just when Medicine King Tang Wanchen left Medicine King Valley and headed towards the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in Magic City. In the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, Li Hao closed the door of the room, and then waved his hand lightly, and another invisible force enveloped the entire space, isolating all breath and sound. In order not to be disturbed again, Li Hao directly arranged a formation. Then, Li Hao came to the bed again, looked at Yeshiun on the bed, and said slowly, "Okay, no one can disturb us now. Let's continue." God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 483. Okay, no one can disturb us now. Let's continue. Li Hao directly set up a formation to isolate all breath and sound to prevent anyone from disturbing him, and then came to the bed and said to Yeshiun. Hearing Li Hao's words, Yeshiun's pretty face was shy. Thinking of the scene just now, Yeshiun couldn't help herself. Yeah. Yeshiun let out a light exclamation. It was a long time again. Li Hao could clearly feel that Yeshiun's body had become different. There was a power of cultivation emerging from her body, and a cultivation base also appeared. In just a moment, Yeshiun had become a cultivator in the early stage of foundation building. This should be the cultivation gained from the spiritual power of his body, right? But what surprised Li Hao was that his cultivation power did not decrease but increased, and his cultivation became much deeper. Li Hao, who was originally in the late stage of transformation, actually went towards the realm of earthly immortals and got closer and closer. This Tai's Hangwajikan Yin Yang cultivation technique is really amazing. If you do it a few more times, you can directly achieve earthly immortality. Strike while the iron is hot. Li Hao directly took out some spirit stones from the system world and threw them around the whole room. In an instant, the whole room was filled with extremely rich spiritual power, comparable to the blessed land and cave heaven. Li Hao started to practice, and in an instant, a huge suction force suddenly emerged with the bodies of Li Hao and Yeshiun as the center, and the spiritual power in the surrounding space immediately rushed towards Li Hao and the two. Soon it turned into the cultivation of the two. Just a moment later, Li Hao's cultivation was actually much stronger, and he was only one step away from breaking through to the realm of earthly immortals. And Yexiun actually became a cultivator in the middle stage of foundation building, which was simply against the sky. If he practiced again. Li Hao couldn't help but have such a thought, but the next moment, Li Hao murmured self-deprecatingly. What the hell is this? Let's not talk about whether it can be broken through, will Ye Hongxiu agree? It is definitely impossible, I think too much. In the room. Yexiun's pretty face is still blushing, and she is so bright and beautiful. How do you feel? Li Hao smiled at Yexiun again. Yexiun was even more embarrassed when she heard Li Hao's words. This guy really got the advantage and still acted cute. Isn't this asking knowingly? Really? Yexiun stared at Li Hao in shame and anger, but did not answer. I mean, how do you feel about your body? Feel it carefully, is there anything special? Li Hao said to Yexiun again, with a smile on his face. Yexiun was stunned for a moment, but her pretty face was even redder. The next moment, Yexiun felt her body and checked it out. Then, Yexiun was stunned. Her body did not feel any discomfort, and her condition was very good. There was no pain, and the body was not without strength. How could this happen? Why was this feeling completely different from what I imagined? Moreover, Yexiun felt that her body was full of strength, and there was a strange force flowing in her body, and even her perception became extremely sharp. This was beyond Yexiun's imagination. Li Hao looked at Yexiun's eyes widening in disbelief, but smiled and said. You are already a cultivator in the middle stage of foundation building. Ah! How is this possible? Yexiun couldn't help but be shocked again when she heard Li Hao's words. His father and grandfather were both cultivators, and now she was the same. Come on, try it. Try to mobilize the power in your body. Li Hao said to Yexiun again, and Yexiun tried the power of her body. Yeah. Yexiun nodded, and then felt the power in her body, and the next moment, she pushed out with a palm. Boom. Immediately, Yexiun's palm was shining with spiritual light, and then a spiritual palm print blasted out, directly hitting the TV in front. Bang. Immediately, there was a sudden explosion sound, and the TV in front actually exploded at this moment, making a huge roar. Ah! Yexiun herself was shocked by this scene, her beautiful eyes trembled, and her heart was even more shocked. Her palm was so powerful. Well, sorry. Yexiun said weakly to Li Hao, the TV was broken by her. Haha, it doesn't matter, I have plenty of money. Master the power in the body below. Li Hao said lightly, not caring. Fortunately he arranged a formation in this room, no matter how much noise there was in this room, the energy could not be dispersed, and people outside did not know what happened inside. Ding dong, congratulations to the host, you saved a beautiful woman's life and got a reward, demon god Ju. Suddenly, at this moment, a mechanical reminder sounded in Li Hao's mind, which shocked Li Hao. Immediately, a smile appeared on Li Hao's face. The system's reward has arrived. It was the reward corresponding to the previous reminder. This reward is never late. It came not long after saving the drunk woman. Then, a huge amount of information poured into Li Hao's mind and directly entered Li Hao's memory. It was the demon god art rewarded by the system. Demon god art, after using it, you can obtain the power of the demon god, turn into a demon god, make all demons submit, and have an innate suppression of demon beasts. Looking at the description of this demon god art, Li Hao's heart was suddenly shocked. It was another powerful Taoism. This demon god art is the nemesis of all demon beasts. In a flash, this demon god art has been integrated by Li Hao and can be used and released at will. It can turn Li Hao's body's spiritual power into the power of the demon god, strengthen his own combat power, and let him have the power of the demon god. This demon god art is powerful. Another trump card. A smile appeared on Li Hao's face, and he became more and more confident in his own strength. Come on, let's continue. Until the next morning, Ye Xiun fell into a deep sleep. Even though she had become a cultivator in the middle stage of foundation building, she was a little overwhelmed. But Li Hao became more and more energetic, so refreshed. The door of the room opened, and Li Hao walked out of it, dressed in white, with a transcendent temperament. And when Li Hao walked out of the room, several figures came directly to meet him. 3 figures, one old and 2 young, and the 2 young people were the 2 guys who knocked on Li Hao's door last night. Li Hao didn't expect that the other party was actually guarding here. I just casually said that they would talk about it tomorrow if they had anything to do. Among them, the old man looked like he was in his 60s or 70s, wearing a gray robe, but he had a majestic temperament on his body. Standing there, he gave people a feeling of returning to nature. Li Hao looked at the old man and couldn't help but let out a look of surprise. Grandmaster. This old man is actually a grandmaster. Although the other party did not release the power of cultivation, under the perception of Li Hao's powerful spiritual power, he still felt the unusualness of the old man in front of him. The other party was definitely a master of the transformation realm. The next moment, Li Hao saw the 3 people coming straight to Li Hao. While Li Hao was looking at the 3 people, the 3 people also looked at Li Hao, especially the old man, who looked at Li Hao with a gleam of brilliance in his eyes. The first impression of this young man in front of Tang Wanchen was that he was extraordinary, and he couldn't see through him. But isn't he a little too young? How high can his cultivation be? Can he really do acupuncture magic? Tang Wanchen's heart condensed, and a trace of doubt arose in his heart. The next moment, Tang Wanchen directly activated the power of cultivation, and a powerful momentum burst out from his body and went towards Li Hao. He just heard that the young man in front of him knew acupuncture magic from what his grandson and granddaughter said. But at this moment, Tang Wanchen wanted to verify it himself, and he directly activated the power of his cultivation to test it. In an instant, a strong force of oppression descended on Li Hao's body. Li Hao frowned slightly, and a hint of coldness appeared in his eyes. Put away your little practice. Li Hao's voice came out coldly. Since the other party was testing him, Li Hao would naturally not be polite at all. The politeness was not ordinary. As soon as the voice fell, it fell into the ears of Tang Wanchen in front of him like a thunder, but there was a shocking momentum pressing towards him. At this moment, it seemed as if there was an ancient beast that was about to devour him at any time. At this moment, Tang Wanchen was extremely frightened. The young man in front of him was also a master, and he was a peak master who was much stronger than him. His little practice was really a little practice under the other party's terrifying practice momentum. You are really too arrogant, aren't you? Tang Qianqian, who was standing next to him, couldn't help but said coldly when she heard what Li Hao said, with a hint of dissatisfaction in her voice. Li Hao's aura of oppression was only directed at the old man, and she didn't feel it. But before Li Hao could respond, "Shut up!" a voice stopped Tang Qianqian, and the person who spoke was Tang Wanchen. Just now, it was the old man who offended me. Little brother, I'm sorry for the offense. Tang Wanchen directly clasped his fists to Li Hao, bowed and said, lowering his posture very low. At this moment, Tang Wanchen also believed that the guy in front of him could do acupuncture magic. Such a young master must have a chance to defy the heavens, and it's not surprising that he can do acupuncture magic. Tang Qianqian and Tang Yi, who were standing next to him, looked at the scene in front of them, and their eyes were filled with shock that could not be concealed. Their grandfather was a world-famous medicine king, but he had never treated someone in this way. Li Hao glanced at the old man in front of him and said indifferently, "If you have something to say, say it now. My time is precious." These two guys came knocking on my door yesterday, and I was merciful not to kill them. You. As soon as Li Hao finished speaking, Tang Qianqian, who was standing next to him, glared at Li Hao angrily, with anger on her face, and even pretended to fight. This guy in front of him was so arrogant. Didn't he know that his grandfather was the king of medicine? And he was a master. There were few masters in the entire continent. How dare the other party be so rude? Qianqian. Don't be rude. However, Tang Wanchen stopped Tang Qianqian again.